The Cliff House was one of the most famous pieces of Victorian architecture on the Pacific coast. It stood as a magnificent and iconic landmark that drew visitors from all over. But what happened to it? Where is it today? Let's go back to the very beginning of its fascinating story, the early years of the Cliff House. The Cliff House was originally built by Senator John Buckley and C.C. Butler in 1863. It was leased to Captain Foster, who managed the establishment in its early years. Back then, it was quite a journey to reach the Cliff House. Most visitors arrived either on horseback, by foot, or as part of day outings that included hunting or picnicking along the rugged coastline. By 1883, the Cliff House had seen some difficult years and its popularity declined. It was then purchased by Adolphe Sutro, a wealthy businessman who made his fortune in silver mining. Sutro was a brilliant engineer who solved the complex issues of ventilating and draining mines in Nevada's Comstock Lode. For a few years, the Cliff House was quietly managed by J.M. Wilkins, but its peaceful days were about to come to a dramatic and destructive end. A catastrophic explosion and fire. On January 16, 1887, disaster struck. A ship called the schooner Parallel ran aground at Land's End near the Cliff House. The ship was carrying burning oil lamps, cargo, and barrels of dynamite powder. Early in the morning, the unthinkable happened. The cargo exploded. The explosion was so powerful that it was heard over 100 miles away. It completely demolished the north wing of the Cliff House. While repairs were made, the Cliff House was ultimately destroyed again by fire on Christmas night, 1894. The cause? A defective flue that ignited and burned the structure down to the ground. The grand rebuild, the Gingerbread Palace. Despite these devastating setbacks, Adolphe Sutro was not willing to give up on the Cliff House. In 1896, he decided to rebuild it from the ground up, this time constructing a 7-story Victorian chateau. This grand and extravagant structure, often called the Gingerbread Palace, was built right below his estate at Sutro Heights. The same year, work also began on the Sutro Baths, a large recreational facility immediately north of the Cliff House. The Sutro Baths included 6 large indoor swimming pools, a museum, a skating rink. Other attractions on weekends. Thousands of people from San Francisco would travel by steam train, bicycle, horse wagon, or cart to visit the Cliff House and Sutro Baths. The area became a hotspot for entertainment and leisure. Adolphe Sutro even purchased various historical artifacts, artwork, and stuffed animals from the former Woodward's Gardens collection. These were put on display at both the Cliff House and the Sutro Baths, adding to the site's appeal. Surviving the 1906 earthquake, but not another fire. In 1906, San Francisco was devastated by one of the most powerful earthquakes in recorded history. Surprisingly, the Cliff House survived the quake with only minor damage. However, just 1 year later, in 1907, tragedy struck again. On the evening of September 7, 1907, another fire broke out and completely destroyed the Cliff House once again. This left San Francisco without one of its most iconic landmarks, and many people wondered if the Cliff House would ever be rebuilt. The third and final version of the Cliff House. Following the devastating 1907 fire, Dr. Emma Merritt, the daughter of Adolphe Sutro, took on the responsibility of rebuilding the Cliff House. She commissioned the Reed & Reed architectural firm to construct a neoclassical-style restaurant. This structure was completed within 2 years, and the Cliff House we see today is based on this 1909 version. In 1914, a local guidebook called Bohemian San Francisco described the Cliff House as one of the greatest bohemian restaurants in the city. Its reputation for fine dining and breathtaking ocean views continued to attract visitors for decades. New owners and renovations. In 1937, brothers George and Leo Whitney purchased the Cliff House. They had already developed the nearby playland at the beach, and they extensively remodeled the Cliff House, turning it into an American roadhouse. The National Park Service, NPS, acquired the building in 1977, making it part of the Golden Gate National Recreation Area. This was a turning point in the Cliff House's history, as it ensured that the structure would be preserved as part of San Francisco's heritage. The 2003 restoration and the fate of the Cliff House. As part of a major renovation in 2003, the National Park Service decided to restore the Cliff House to its original 1909 appearance. Many of the additions made by the Whitney family over the decades were removed. A new 2-story wing was also constructed, providing stunning views of what remained of the Sutro Baths, which had burned down in 1966. For years, the Cliff House remained one of San Francisco's most beloved landmarks. It continued to be a top destination for both tourists and locals, offering fine dining with a spectacular view of the Pacific Ocean. However, on December 13, 2020, the concessionaires of the Cliff House announced that they would be closing the restaurant permanently. The pandemic and financial difficulties had made it impossible to continue operations. Conclusion: the Cliff House has had an extraordinary journey, from its origins in 1863 to its multiple reconstructions and eventual closure in 2020. Despite its long history of fires, explosions, and renovations, it has always remained a symbol of San Francisco's resilience and charm. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the history of the Cliff House. I want to extend a special thank you to our members. Your support means everything. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about historical homes and architecture.